In our globally connected lives, the companies that make the technology we rely on every day can run headlong into traditional cultures and the environment that sustains them. Last night, we featured a new, potentially lucrative industry, deep-sea mining. Tonight, videographer Edward Kiernan and special correspondent Willem Marks return to Papua New Guinea and the Bismarck Sea, where locals are fighting back to preserve a vanishing way of life.
Rodney Kadog has been prepping bait like this since he was a teenager, when he first ventured out alone in a canoe. Fishing far out at sea or on reefs closer to shore has sustained Papua New Guinea's coastal communities for centuries. Like many local kids, Rodney started catching fish around age 6. He later moved to this village called Kono to get married. Its shoreline on an island named New Ireland has been his home ever since, and fishing remains his primary job.
It can help us with our families. It generates financial income which supports us, as well as sustains our livelihood in our village. Fish is good.
Fishing helps feed his kids, and if he ever trades or sells his catch, it helps fund their other needs too. But the bites don't come as often as they once did. Perhaps due to a growing population or the changing climate, he's not sure.
When I was younger, it was a lot faster. As soon as we cast our lines, we would bring in a lot of fish, compared to now when fish are scarce. Today, it takes a long time for us to catch one fish.
Rodney often paddles out rapidly past the island's reef break, sometimes sitting for hours, several miles offshore. But beyond the reach of a typical canoe ride, farther out on this sea called the Bismarck, sits a vast ship called MV Coco, that villagers like Rodney worry could disturb the waters where local fish breed and damage their future fishing stocks. Floating in place a mile above the seafloor, this vast vessel is testing a new technique for an often controversial industry called deep-sea mining. A giant device called the grabber scoops up several tons of rock from the seabed and sends it up to the ship's deck for analysis. Close to the mining site, the ship's crew show us these so-called chimneys of rock, crawling with mollusks and crabs, with warmer water flowing from a vent that's visible on the ocean floor. But as the grabber leaves the water one evening, there's a major hitch. It hasn't fully closed. That means a large amount of material from the ocean floor has leached into the water column on its way up to the ship. Marine experts around the world insist any form of deep-sea mining will damage ocean life. But environmental scientists have been hired and brought on board to better understand whether this sort of damage can be minimized or possibly mitigated. As part of their monitoring, they lower tubes into the ocean to capture samples at different depths, then collate the resulting data to examine the impact on the waters around the site. A geologist from Papua New Guinea, meanwhile, photographs this haul, then gets to work assessing the concentration in these rocks of metals like copper, so crucial to the global energy transition. The team on board are trying to confirm whether these metals can be mined efficiently, profitably, and safely. Under the supervision of James Holt, an offshore manager for one of the companies involved in this effort. He says deep-sea mining could cause less harm than its onshore equivalent.
I personally believe that environmentally, this is a lot better. We're not relocating villages. We're not laying waste to huge areas of land. Because of the quality of the material here, we have to mine 300% less ground to get the same amount of copper that you would get on land.
But given the uncertain consequences of this deep-sea extraction, it's an argument Jonathan Mesulum finds difficult to accept.
Currently, there's no precedent case of seabed mining around the world that even scientists that I've talked to, the politician, you and I, we don't really understand what is the likely impact is going to happen. So we don't want to take the risk in the seabed mining.
Mesulum left his job as a teacher to help set up a group focused on blocking seabed mining. He travels along the island's sometimes rugged local roads to provide communities here with information he says they need to make decisions, to weigh the possible benefits of a new project against its potential drawbacks. Most New Islanders live in scattered coastal villages like Kono, around 700 residents with homes hunched on the shoreline at the foot of huge mountains. Alongside fishing, pig and crop farming, as well as other traditional activities, dominate daily life in the village. For as long as the oldest residents can remember, they've gathered beneath these ancient trees to debate and discuss the community's challenges. On a recent visit, 63-year-old village chief Chris Maligan opened the meeting. He was appointed to this role decades ago and appears to relish the responsibility. He eventually invited Mesulam up to address the weekly council. Patiently, painstakingly, the campaigner explained what little he knew about the presence of a deep-sea mining vessel just over the horizon. Then locals took their turn to speak on the subject, sometimes concerned, occasionally upset. For many residents, including Maligan, this poorly understood new industry seems to represent an existential threat at a time when fish stocks are already struggling.
The ocean is our life. For us, the coastal people, it is our garden. We catch fish and share with others in the village without being paid. When we catch fish and sharks, we share with other families who need it to spread love and kindness.
Finding enough food can already be a challenge in communities like this, and after years without any significant support from the state, Maligan fails to believe an offshore mining project involving foreign companies might help.
Do you think that the government of Papua New Guinea, the governor, the local representatives here on New Island, do you think they are on your side or on the side of the companies doing the prospecting?
Well, they are on the side of the company and not working in our favor. As a result, we the people are suffering.
How does that make you feel?
We are now faced with a huge problem.
Are you angry?
We will miss out on the benefits. The government and the national government will benefit from this, and we, the local people, will have nothing except schools and health clinics. But as for the people within the villages, there won't be other services. This is a big problem.
Meetings like this mean a great deal to Jonathan Mesulam. Until recently, he thought his decade of opposition had helped permanently stop seabed mining close to New Island.
People are surprised, they're shocked after learning that the new company is coming back. Because our effort on campaigning against seabed mining, we thought it was a dead issue now. But now we are back, we are awakened, we are now, campaigning against this new company.
And amid conversations with villagers like Rodney and Chris, Mesulam says he feels betrayed by his own government, and the personal costs have been high.
It's really, stressful. You have a family to feed. You are taking a risky, path. It's really emotional. Because you are trying to, commit yourself to a good cause. To me, it's really, emotional when discussing this issue.
He hopes to move forward on a legal case against the government to force more information about deep-sea mining into the public domain.
We don't want to be used as guinea pigs for trial and error, because these metals that are going to be dig out of our ocean will not benefit anyone from here, because nobody here is using electric cars. You are taking minerals from the poor people and you go and enjoy your luxury life, but these people are going to be affected in a long-term destruction to the marine ecosystem. And that is something that we are very concerned about.
For locals like Rodney, global copper markets may operate far from their fishing waters, but community cohesion is something he wants to support. It could, he hopes, help combat this perceived threat to his livelihood.
If we have a lot of conversations, raise a lot of awareness, and have cooperation among our leaders in the communities to put up a fight against this, then the seabed mining will not happen.
Not for the first time nor the last in our globalized world, A new industry with cutting-edge technology is colliding with traditional techniques and an ancient way of life. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Willem Marx in Connaught, New Ireland, Papua New Guinea.
Tomorrow, we'll delve into the seeming lack of government oversight of deep-sea mining and the forces behind that avoidance.